True miracles of faith. My only son was killed in a tragic accident when he was only 30 years old. He left behind a beautiful wife and a 6-year-old daughter. After talking it over, we decided not to take my granddaughter to the funeral or the cemetery. Instead, I took a picture of a mausoleum and gave it to my granddaughter, telling her that we had left her daddy in the building. She missed her father terribly. After about 2 months, she started asking to go see him. Finally, I told her mother we had to take her to the cemetery. Along the way, she asked lots of questions, wondering if every building we passed was the right one. But as we turned into the cemetery, she became very quiet. In astonishment, she said, "This can't be where my daddy is. This is a graveyard." I tried my best to explain things to her, but she began to cry. No, don't tell me my daddy is under the ground." She thought her father was in a hospital all this time. We reached the grave. When my granddaughter saw the headstone and her father's name, she became hysterical. I think the belief that she would see him again was the only thing that has sustained her. And since the rest of us were hurting so badly, we hadn't been able to explain death clearly to her. She continued to cry and scream, not knowing what else to do. I looked up and asked God in all His wisdom to do something. Suddenly she stopped crying and said, Look, it's okay. There's a statue of Jesus. He's going to protect my daddy and keep him safe." There was indeed a large white statue of Jesus, arms outstretched, shadowing my son's grave. I was in awe and didn't know what to say, so we quietly left. As we went back to the car, my granddaughter said, "I just wish he was a little closer." She wanted to go back on her father's birthday 2 months later, so I took her. But the statue was gone, and she wanted to know what happened to it. We looked all over the cemetery but never found it. I finally said that they must be saving the statue to put near some other little girl's father so she would know he was safe. She seemed to accept my explanation, but it bothered me. So I went back a few days later. A worker told me that there had never been a statue there at all. I truly believe that was one of God's miracles. Through this experience, I have learned that when there is no other place to turn to God. It's what has kept me going since we lost our son.